which stands as a TTAA. And we finished last August with it. Before that, just to let you know who I am, my name is Lila Kosivaki. I am based in the UK at the University of Birmingham. Originally, I am Greek, as you might hear from my accent, and I'm also a French speaker, and I get really confused when I hear the three languages. I'm really confused between the three. So I'm based here in the Autism Center for Education and Research, and we do research, and we also provide training for professionals working with people with autism across the age range, so from very young up to adults and older people with autism, and we train professionals, teachers and parents, because special education goes beyond school education and school years. That's my email address for anyone who wants to get in touch with me. And something else you might want to know, it's that from October, this coming October, I am moving back to Greece. I got a position at the International Hellenic University, and I will be working for them. I will also be affiliated to Birmingham too. So having these two hats on, UK and Greece. So what I will be talking about today is this project, which is an Erasmus Plus one. These are the details. It ran for 3 years in the middle of the pandemic, and it was very challenging for this reason. And it costed a bit above 200,000 euros, 250,000 euros for everyone involved. So you'll see who the partners were and what we developed as a result of this. So, sorry, for people who might not know geography, I usually use this map so everyone knows where Israel or Greece is in the map. So we've got Israel as a partner. I think they have a different name in Erasmus Plus because they are not part of Europe. And Greece, Spain, and the UK. And then with this, within these countries, we had 2 to 3 partners per country. So starting from Israel, we worked with the University of Tel Aviv and the School of Education there. And we also worked with Weizmann School, which is a public mainstream school, which has separate classes for children with special educational needs. Then moving to the West and Greece, if this works, yeah. So in Greece, we worked and we tried for all partners to have one academic partner and one school partner. So in Greece, we worked with the University of Western Macedonia and the Department of Early Childhood Education, and a school in Piraeus, close to Athens, which was is an experimental school. Mainstream primary and experimental is a school which is very well connected to universities, and they do quite a lot of research work. So moving further to the West, we're going to Spain. In Spain, we work with the University of Valencia, and more specifically, the Institute on Robotics and Information and Communication Technology. So they were the ones who helped us a lot with the development of the technology. And we also worked with Autismo Avila, which is a parent organization. And within Autismo Avila, there is a school called Treble School, which offers education to children with autism. And coming to the UK, we had 3 partners. This is the only country with 3 partners. So the University of Birmingham, both the School of Education and the School of Psychology. And I think it's important to mention that because it's really difficult, I don't know why, for the 2 schools to collaborate in all the countries that I have experience from. And we also worked with Rookery School, which is a mainstream primary school with an autism resource base. So it is a classroom with children with autism, where children go and they have separate education for the core modules. And NASEN is possibly, I would say, the biggest teacher training organization in the UK for special needs. So here is myself with two of my main colleagues, Professor Lilach Shale from University of Tel Aviv and Carmel Mevorak from University of Birmingham School of Psychology. Here we consisted the core team, and we were the main people who developed all this and actually guided most of our partners. So you can imagine we're 9 people, 9 partners, at least 2 people per organization. We're talking about 25 to 30 people working on this project for 3 years, if not more. So the idea was that we wanted to review the literature and also get professionals' views on what is happening in terms of training attention in people with autism in the 4 participating countries. And after that, we wanted, because we knew that not that much is happening, we wanted to provide some resources for professionals, teachers, but beyond school and beyond the age group of 5 to 15, how we can support teachers to develop attention, assess attention in people with autism, and then help them develop their attention skills. So I have provided here a QR code. I'm very happy to share these slides afterwards, so if people want to have access to that. So by going to this QR code, which is also at the bottom of the slides, you can have access to our 3 intellectual outputs, which are free, all of them. So the first one is a more academic report where it contains a literature review and the results of questionnaires from professionals in 4 countries: Israel, Greece, UK, and Spain. I'm just getting some, sorry, I can't concentrate. Okay, so you can, it's quite interesting. So if you're interested in the academic bit, like over 150 professionals for from the 4 countries. But what I think is more important and interesting is these 2 intellectual outputs. So the first one is CPAT, with software free to download in order to develop attention skills. And although it has been developed for children, we have used it with young adults with autism, with no intellectual disabilities, and they very much welcomed it. And we also developed a MOOC, which stands for a Massive Open Online Course. This is again free. You need to pay a fee if you want to get a certificate, but if you don't, you can access it for free. And this is an introduction to the topic. So we put together information about what is autism. I do have the units later on. So if you go on it, you can go to it. So this is CPAT and how it looks like. You see that it is provided in the 4 countries, in the languages of the 4 countries we work together: English, Hebrew, Spanish, and Greek. And we have launched it in the 4 countries. Professionals have already used it. And this is the online training. So it consists of 4 weeks, and we have 2 units per week. This is a combination of video recordings where different aspects are presented, some documents to read, audio podcasts, interviews with teachers and professionals and people with autism themselves. And there are also, for every unit, there is a quick multiple answer choice quiz for people just to check their knowledge. The recommendation is roughly 4 hours a week if you want to get the most out of it. But of course, people can do it faster than this. And you can see the units here. So it's about autism, some up-to-date information and research about autism and attention, and how attention relates to learning, and what we know from research in terms of attention in autism, why technology works so well for individuals with autism, and then some information about cognitive training, which is the background information of CPAT. So CPAT, this software, the computerized progressive attention training software, has been developed based on the principles of cognitive training. So there is a lot of research behind that, although that seems quite simplistic and it's easy for people to access it. There is a lot of theory and research background to support what we have put together for this free resource. And yes, that's all. I'm available for any question, and I was told that I have to use this disclaimer. I guess it's the same for you, that although we were funded by the European Union, they don't necessarily endorse everything I've produced out of it. So far, we haven't heard that they are unhappy with anything yet, but I had to say that. So I would be very happy to take any questions either now or later or via email. Please do let me know.
So this course is addressed to caregivers, to the people who want to learn more about focus for people with autism?
It's open to everyone. It is not very difficult to access in terms, we tried it not to be very heavy academically. So we have parents who have completed that. And just, I don't know whether I've mentioned that, the MOOC, the online training is also offered in the 4 languages of the program. So for people who are from Greece and Cyprus, they can do that in Greek. It's English, Hebrew, and Spanish. So I assume if a carer wants to do it, they might want to select which elements they want to focus more than others, because some bits of it about attention and the research can be more complicated. But the initial introduction to autism, the first week, is really open and accessible to everyone. So yes, we have parents who have and carers who have done it, and they said that they have enjoyed it. But the target audience we had in mind when we were developing that were professionals and teaching staff working with people with autism.
Alice from Belgium wishes to make a question.
Yes, thank you. I was wondering if you make the link between autism and ADHD. You're talking about attention in autism, but in 2016, the BBC, the Belgian Brain Council, organized a congress, and we talked about research going on in the University of Liège in Belgium. And the doctor could demonstrate that more than half of the autistic people also have ADHD, which is the attention problem. So which is the link you make between autism, standard autism, and ADHD?
That's a very interesting question. And of course, I didn't have the time to cover everything in 10 minutes. I am the one who is expert in autism. Both my colleagues from Tel Aviv and my colleague from the School of Psychology here, they are experts in ADHD and attention. So they came with this background, and they have done research on ADHD, and we have been using CPAT, so the software with ADHD population, people with aphasia, stroke. So it has been used more broadly, but within the program, within the MOOC, the online training, we make quite a lot of parallels between attention difficulties and autism. And we also claim something like this, that although attention is not one of the defining characteristics of autism, so you don't need to have attention difficulties to get an autism ASD diagnosis, we know as professionals from studies that 50% at least of the people with autism also have serious issues with attention. So there are some links there in research and when attention is developed. So you will find that if you are interested.
Okay. And the link with the QI, the intelligence. The degree
that is a little bit complicated when it comes to autism, because in autism it's very difficult to assess intellectual content, and I know that I come from a country that doesn't support, and I'm in UK now, it doesn't support that much intelligence in that sense and how we measure. And it has been challenged whether if you sit with someone with autism to go through WISC or Wessler, whether you're actually assessing their intellectual abilities or their ability to sit through a test. So there has been quite a lot of debate about IQ. I think in the program we do mention that a big percentage of people with autism have additional learning difficulties, intellectual disabilities, as you want to call them. But we don't mention a lot in the program just because we are aware of the subtleties and the confusion with IQs and the way that different countries see it in different ways.
I know, very complicated. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for your questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your presentation, and we are glad that you will be in Greece. We would like to keep the contact with you, Lila, for projects on ADHD or autism. It's great to share with us what you already know.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And let's give the floor to Alice from Alice Schulz from APEPA SBL, the president of Autism Association in Belgium.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Roland, do you share the screen with my slides or shall I do it? Roland. Okay. Can everybody see it? Can you read the slides? Do you hear me?
It would be good if you can make them a bit bigger, if you put them full screen, but we can see them.
Yes, okay. Trying. That's okay for you?
Perfect. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, ehealth. So, hi everybody, once again. My name is Alice Schulz from Belgium, and I'm Vice President of APEPA. APEPA stands for the non-profit organization of parents and professionals, which is based in Namur, Wallonia, French-speaking part of Belgium. We are under the high patronage of our Majesty Queen Matilda. We are working for the entire autistic population and families in Wallonia. Our association is recognized as representative by ministerial decree in 2002. Our mission, of course, is for parents and with services and support, awareness, training, lobbying by the decision makers. And we are co-founder of several other services which are very important in Belgium. SUSA is a universal service universitaire spécialisé en autisme, which was the first one in Belgium 30 years ago already. Autism Europe, you're part of it, you too, I suppose. Participate Autism is a website of 3,000 pages co-created by the 8 centers for diagnosis in Belgium, all complete Belgium. eHealth in Belgium is different in Wallonia and in Flanders and in Brussels. So as I am living in Wallonia, I said talk to you about what's going on in Wallonia. And 2 weeks ago, our Minister of Health and Social Action attended a European Congress for Healthcare. And she came back very happy because Belgium was one of the best countries for eHealth. In Wallonia, there is a recovery plan. So since COVID, in all European countries, there are recovery plans. And for Wallonia, we we received 7.5 billion euros for the period 2022-2030. 42 projects with priority have been designed with 2.5 billion for this year, last year and this year. 22 projects were led by AVIC. AVIC is the agency pour une vie de qualité, for a life of good quality. There are 3 very large departments at the agency: family, health, and disability. And I am member of the department, the Disability Council at the agency. So I know that for the digitizing in Wallonia, 22 million euros have been budgeted. The meaning is to develop a digital integrated management tool. Wallonia, all in health is the name of it. And so for observation, mapping, and administrative and reinforcement of Bologna, actions in health promotion and prevention through the implementation articulated with the eHealth platforms. And when I was manager at Belgacom, the national network operator for telecommunication 20 years ago, I collaborated at the creation, at the beginning of the eHealth. So now I am applying it. And everything and everybody in Wallonia will be digitized. So with personal assistance if needed, for instance, in the local offices of AVIC, of the agency. There is a special service in eHealth called My Handicap. My Handicap Belgium.be, so 20 years of development. It allows to it allows to consult your disabled person's file, or to receive answers to a lot of questions like what has the persons with disability already granted you. This service, this eHealth My Handicap, is very useful for autistic people with a normal intelligence level. They don't have to move, they don't need to have contacts, and the system is as logical as an autistic brain. There is another service in Wallonia which is very, very interesting for eHealth, called CRET. CRET is hosted by the University of Namur. In French, we say Centre de Ressources et d'Évaluation des Technologies pour les Personnes Handicapées, so Assessment and Resource Center of New Technologies for Persons with Disabilities. The CRET provides research, advice, and individualized testing in the field of information technology and or communication for any person with a disability, so autism all included. Also individual support to the person with a disability and or the entourage regarding the use of technology. That might be an iPhone, a tablet, a television screen, all the new technologies for communication, especially for autism. They also do tests. You also can test yourself the solutions offered by touch technologies to meet the needs of autistic people with disability. And that's very important because fine dexterity is very often a problem for children or elderly with autism. Lending technological equipment free of charge and quickly. So if one of the products you can be interested in, you can lend it for free, and for a few weeks, a few months to try it out and then make your choice. CRET also organizes training for professionals and parents with applications like Mind Express, My Talk tools, Go Talk Now, continuing education, especially for non-verbal autistic people, with more than 1,000 applications existing already all over the world. So the CRET service is very interesting, and they have a large number of demands, and the file for waiting is every day longer because everybody is interested in these new applications, and they suit very well for people with an autistic disease. So that is what's going on in headlines in Wallonia, but our association participates in a lot of research organized by different universities in Belgium, which is in link with eHealth, of course. But I prefer to talk about these interesting items today. If there are questions, please go on. I don't hear. Roland, je ne vous entends pas. What's going on?
We have some technical problems today.
No more.
But thank you very much for your presentation.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you very much, Alice, for your presentation. It gives a very good angles, and you approach the political aspect and the regional concern about autism. That's also very important for the future.
Yes, indeed.
If you can send us your presentation, or we
Roland
already
has
have
it.
it.
Roland has it.
So
Roland,
if
yes.
you can send it to,
Yes, I will.
so you can save it on the Google Drive.
Okay,
Thank you again, Alice. It was very useful. Thank you very much.
my pleasure.
And you-
Thank you
you
for the
can-
invitation.
You can save the date for 20 to 24th, and you will tell us if you are available to travel.
Okay, thank you for the invitation. I do that.
Lila has a question.
Yes, if we have time, can I ask something?
Yes.
So that was very interesting. Thank you. I have comment question. I understand that language and how we call people with autism is more important in certain countries like the UK than in others, like in Greece. But I was wondering whether you have got any comments, because what you have